massive hit. Oh, they've clipped. Off. How he held on to that, I don't know. This is the biggest crash in RGL history. He's out of control and into the wall. Brace yourselves, this is going to be action-packed. Hi and welcome to the 2013 RGL Forza Championships. Once again, we are kick-starting the V8 Supercar Series, Season 4, and we're up to Round 1 of course. We're about to kick off the season and looking forward to seeing what happens here with our Tier 1 drivers. Not mentioned much in the DVS race earlier, but we are in 2 tiers now with the RGL Forza Championships. Popularity, we've got quite a lot of drivers, so the 16 fastest drivers from the time trials went into Tier 1 and they have the privilege of having full race replays. And here we are at Mugello full circuit, and it's 5.25 kilometers and some very tricky sections for the more novice drivers with difficult chicanes and sweeping turns, and a pretty big difference in the times between both tiers. And there is one surprise packet that's come out of qualifying, and that is the reigning champion Alcimo not on the front grid. He's way down, not even in the top 8 here. As you can see, newcomers F34R Bretley and Highboy No Recoil there, taking out 3 of the top 4 spots, I should say, with Twisty Corners fighting it out for APRT Vic. On the front row of the grid, you're watching in 5th and Cutters in 6th. Moving on, we have Queensland Rum Runner showing a little bit better speed with the V8s than what he did with the Nissan Leafs, and there you'll find Alcimo there coming out of P12, row 6, and Pistol Fit, his partner in crime, taking last spot on the grid, and Beshi was an absentee for this race. Really looking forward to an exciting battle here. Hopefully we have some cracking races. Here we are, 3 lights, and we are go. And they light them up. Everybody off to a pretty good start. Twisty getting that second start, just that little bit better than Bretley, and I think he's got the run on him into the first turn. And we see coming into the braking area now, and yes, Twisty Corner, as you can see, ahead of Bretley. So Bretley's lost a little spot there. Taztec Motorsport guys neck and neck around that corner, no contact. Oh, Catters, bit of contact. It sent him wide on board with that was Highboy going off. The slightest nudge from his teammate there in No Recoil, and he's off and lost a position to Relentless, and he's losing a few more. Oh, he's gone off again. Hopefully we'll get a better shot of that in a moment, but you're watching through as well, so you're watching into 5th. Recoil's dropped down a position, Relentless has moved up, and Highboy falling back in the grid. And look at this, Bretley, who did qualify with the pole position, has obviously lost track position straight away to Twisty Corners, and he's all over the back of him here. And Twisty Corners was the most dominant driver outside of Alcimo in the previous season, and failed to manage to get a win from that, but now you could say he's got even tougher competition here, so he's going to really have to produce his best to keep Bretley off of him. Based on the time trials, Bretley was 2 seconds faster than any other person in the field across that session, and he's showing it right now, not letting Twisty go at all. Immense pressure here going through the S before the final sweeping turn. We have 9 laps, so just about to complete the first of those 9, and Relentless sticking with them a bit, and he's also a fast driver that's been around for a while now. He missed out on the previous season, and there you can sort of see the field there, a few gaps opening up, but generally all fairly well close together. And Twisty Corner's getting a bit of a gap now on Bretley, so obviously got a good exit out of that final turn. And here we are with Ninja trailing the back of, I believe that's Jake Mo in the 67 Commodore. And somebody locked up big time there, quite a lot of smoke. And there's Elsimo just fishtailing a little bit in the background. On board with Ninja for HD Motorsport. As mentioned, his teammate in Beshi is unavailable for the event, so he's going solo for HD Motorsport. And also another one of those fast drivers who qualify well. We've got a bit of a pack going on here. Catter's leading from Pistol Fit. Pistol Fit looking for a move and has opted not to do that. Eskimo Sammy Joe for State Bus racing ahead of these guys. And Highboy looking for a way around Pistol Fit, which should mean Scavenger somewhere at the back. So I'm not sure whether he's had a mistake or something like that, but he's a fair way off these guys. And now Catter's starting to range up onto Eskimo Sammy Joe and got a bit of a break from Pistol Fit and Highboy. Just as we near completion of the second lap, and X-Cat is still racing. He's just going on the outside of Eskimo here, side by side, and now trailing you watching, who's making some gains on Relentless by the look of it. And we believe Catters did not make that pass on Eskimo just yet. So you can see twisty corners and Bretley about to cross the line here. Feels fairly well intact. Pit stops now able to be made by the drivers. As soon as lap 2 ticks over, they can enter the pit lane. So that'll start to see some gaps open up in the field, and a few drivers. Oh, Relentless has made a mistake there. He's just dropped back behind you watching, so he's gone a little bit deep there. And Bretley with the fastest lap now, replacing Twisties from earlier, so he's right on the move here. And we're following these guys again, and here we are, Bretley starting to range back up on twisty corners. Fantastic battle this. He's just not letting go at all, and if anything he's a bit stronger through this section over Twisty. Seems to gain a little bit going down the sweeper down the hill. And we'll just check out the 9394 studio leaderboard, and there we can see no recoil gaining a position as well as you watching, and Bretley dropping down one. Twisty's going one of those two swap spots. Relentless up a couple. Jake Mo's doing rather well. He qualified 10th. He's already up to P6 without any pit stops causing that to happen. And looking at the back end of the field, and just as we're on screen now, you can see Ninja all over the back of Jake Mo, and Elsimo in P9 still, and then Go Hard has also gained a position. And a lot of these have gained positions due to Catters and Highboy, some incidents hopefully we'll get a replay of, but they've both pitted as well, so that's right to the back there. So Ninja just trying to keep pace with Jake Mo. He's actually pulled away just slightly as they head around to complete lap 3. So Relentless, yes, into that first turn, must have overcooked it there because Joachim had an easy pass. So Relentless will be a bit disappointed in himself there. Racing, and his teammate is actually F34R Bretley. And just in the pit lane here we have no recoil for Taztec Motorsport, and we see Bretley yet another fastest lap. So just sort of bring them down ever so slightly. And also here we've got Go Hard exiting the pit lane as well, racing for APRT Queensland, and his teammate Queensland Rum Runner, who's faring just a little bit better at the moment. Now on board with F34R Bretley, and still applying the pressure to Twisty. This hasn't stopped since the first lap. since Twisty took position off of him. And look at this, just getting ever so closer to Twisty. This is excellent racing by these two guys. High pressure, they're pushing at 100% here. There's no easing their way through this track at all. And now Bretley's got a bit of a better run on Twisty. Could he be close enough to make a pass into the first corner? And the other question is, will one of these guys pit soon and try and get the undercut? We'll go back to them in a moment. Here's Alcimo. Oh, we're going to go into a replay here. So this is a replay at the start. If you keep an eye on Catters, he's just been tapped there, gone wide, and just rescued it. And you can see there that was no recourse, accidental tap on Highboy. And now we can see what happened to Highboy here. So Catters come up on the back of him, or a couple of nudges. He needed to back off there. That didn't have to happen. Highboy's lost a lot of spots from that. Whoa, and this is also a replay of Alcimo. So this will explain why he's dropping back in the field. He's lost it out of that turn. And some positions as well. So the reigning champion not having the best of races. And here is Bretley all over the back of Twisty. The amount of pressure that would be on to nail every lap is, just couldn't explain it. And these guys are holding up rather well. Bretley on the attack, trying to do his best not to cause any incidents, and Twisty trying to do his best to stay ahead of him and not make a mistake and lead him through for an easy pass. After 5 laps, halfway through this race, leading every one of them, that's the last thing you want to do. Ooh. So Bretley's getting close, just not quite close enough to get a good run or even a draft on Twisty yet to make a pass. Again, he's sort of stronger in the back section of the track. Different lines going out of that final turn, and it don't think it's really helped either one of them. They're sort of still going at the same pace. So their cars must be fairly well similar in their tune, in their setup. And the amazing thing is these guys are still producing very fast laps, even though they're battling out. Bretley really close now. Oh, there was contact as well then. Amazing, this is awesome stuff to watch. And he's still at it. Almost bumper to bumper here. And these guys have romped it away from the rest of the field now. I know that some of them have taken pit stops, but oh, a bit of a tap there. He's letting Twisty know he's still there. Oh, and another one, and that was very close. Twisty doing very well to keep control of the car there, because that sent the car a little bit sideways. Just shows the skill at play here. These guys do not use traction control. They use no assists when these guys drive. There are some still in Tier 1 that do use 1 or 2 options, which they're allowed to do, but very aware of these guys using simulation steering and no assist at all, and manual with clutch as well. So to cover off on all that and still be able to control these cars the way they do is simply amazing. And some more taps, another one, and another one. He's trying to unsettle him a little bit. Oh! And he's backed off a little bit, probably a wise move. He wouldn't want to make a pass after sending Twisty off the track. But that is fantastic stuff. And we'll check out this leaderboard again. Coming around to complete lap 6, heading towards the final stages of the race. And you can see all the cars other than the top 5 at the moment have pitted. So by the time Eskimo, Samijar and Pistol Fit pit, they'll drop well back into the field, and the others will move up. Relentless should be coming out around about P6, P7 potentially. And then looking at the other guys that have pitted as well, they'll move up a few spots once the front runners have made their compulsory pit stop. And now we've got Ninja really pressing on. You're watching. top of your screen there. He was right alongside him almost going through those couple of chicanes, and he's still pushing as well, so you're watching his under siege here, trying to take a defensive line now. He's been trying to push on Jake Mo, but in the meantime he's sort of lost a little bit there to Ninja, so now he's under fire. And back on board with Twisty, and he seems to have cut himself a little bit of a break here. I'm just going to check this replay. Another one with Alsmo, same spot, fishtailing. So that is a different incident to the first one that we saw. So he spun out once again. There goes Scavenger, and that puts Alsmo into last place. So back on board now with Twisty, and as you can see, a bit of a gap's opened up here, just ahead of the final couple of laps where these two guys will have to make a pit stop. Neither one of them's gone for an undercut yet. Twisty in the box seat for this. Will he pit first? Oh, a little bit sideways going into that turn. Lost a little bit of control, but hasn't lost too much time. And here we are. This is Highboy for Taztec Motorsport. He's had the worst race so far. Not the best debut for the V8 Supercars in RGL Championships. Starting off in third and finding himself back in about, I believe it was ninth after the first 3 or 4 turns from ever so slight taps too. So I'm sure there'll be some stewarding, so the stewards will be checking out a couple of those incidents there. So now who is going to pit? Both of them, neither of them. They've got one more lap. Twisty's going through, and yep, Brettley has pitted there. He's gone into the pit lane. So we're going to have to wait and see how they fare once Brettley does his outlap and comes back around again for the final lap. Then we'll know whether or not he can do enough on cold tyres. And Twisty, well, you couldn't ask for more than that. A 155.003, so close to getting the 154s. Ninja still pressing on your watch, and can he make a move? And he's alongside him, but I think he's lost a little bit of momentum with a slight tap to the back end of your watching. And it looks even as though your watching's got a little bit more drive down the straights than Ninja. But again, another fantastic battle, and this seems to be the recipe for these RGL Forza Championship races. Even in previous seasons, we might have had a clear winner, but there was always a decent battle going on somewhere, and at the moment we're being treated to quite a few. And Ninja all over the back of him. It's a very difficult pass here. The best spots are sort of towards the back end of the field where you've got some more heavier braking areas. You really need to push and get these guys to make a mistake, go a bit wide onto the gravel. On board with your watch, and here we can see Ninja just trying to get away past. He's obviously quicker at the moment, but just cannot get a gap on the track. Your watch him doing very well to defend his position. And just about to head into one of these spots here. This is a very good spot for a pass if you've got good momentum, but Ninja's too far back, and that'll allow you watching a little bit of breathing space so you can concentrate a little bit more on what's in front of him and not so much what is behind. And he is trying to chase down Jake Mo. And now on board with Brettley. So Twisty is in the pit lane. Brettley's coming around. He's doing his outlap. And I'm going to gather Twisty is well ahead here. Not by a lot, but he's going to come out a little bit further ahead. He had a very good lap to begin with, and there you go. So a bit of space between the two drivers. Can Brettley make it up and get some pressure onto Twisty? So Twisty's probably going about a second in all of that. Onto the last lap. Not much track space left for Brettley to make a move and get a win here, even though he started from pole. And it's one of those interesting things. Twisty Corners did get a few pole positions last season in the V8s, but was unable to put that into a win when the races started. But this time, between the DVS race earlier on and this one, if he can just keep it all together for these final sections of the track, he will have claimed 2 victories and really bringing it home for APRT Victoria. and doing it in a very dominating fashion here. Both these drivers again well ahead of the rest of the field. We'll get an idea of that when we finish up and see these end race results. There's still a few turns left to go before we can start celebrating as yet. Just got going into the final slow turn, a couple of chicanes and then the final turn, and he has got another victory in the bag, which will be a great start for the season. I know the APRT boys here wanted to, they're aiming for a title win, and obviously constructors title win as well, and if possible APRT Queensland would like to come second in that constructors title. At the moment they've got a lot of work to do though if they want to achieve that. But here comes Twisty Corners. He's done it. He's gone through 9 laps of pure pressure from F34R Bretley, but he's taken the win home for APRT and has made a big statement here. Catch me if you can. Congratulations, and third place goes to No Recall for Taztec Motorsport. Let's check out these standings here. And Recall 5 seconds behind Bretley in the end, so not a massive gap but still a decent gap nonetheless. And then Jake Mo in 4th place, a further 6 seconds behind, so did open up a little bit there with these top drivers, but again there was a lot of pressure all the way throughout, a lot of battles which would have produced some slower times in some cases. Let's check out the standings, and at the moment there's a bit of a gap now from 2nd to 3rd, with Jake Mo receiving a pit lane penalty. No Recall dropping back a little bit due to his incident with his teammate in Highboy, and down the bottom is Catters, even though he didn't finish last. He got penalised for his infringement in the pit lane and with Highboy. And let's just wait and see what round 2 brings. That will be in a few more weeks time, but thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you to Scavenger for the graphics, SoundSnap producing all the music, and we will love to see you in the 2nd round of the season for the RGL Forza Championships. Thank you, goodbye.